I don't know, man. I just started sitting back, relaxing, and, sat back on that thing hard, and next thing you know, I'm starting to question everything.
Yeah.
What? Oh.
Hey guys, how you doing today? David
Howdy.
Luca's back here again. And look who's back here with me again today, so...
Ignore what happened before the...
Yeah, that's... Yeah,
I've already decided what I am.
Guys, welcome back to my channel today, and usually when my buddy Alec is here, you guys know that when his lovable extra of energy, shininess is around.
I tell you, he makes me feel special,
And then today, in defense of what we're going to be doing, is kind of a... Oh.
Sorry, too excited.
And now if he can calm himself down, because I think I should be the one that's excited here. And today in defense of, we will be doing the long-awaited, which we've been actually awaiting to talk about for a long time.
We've been actually talking about doing this video pretty much since we started
started
in
defense of series. We've been talking about this, and the time is finally here to do it. This is the in defense of Batman versus...
who are we talking about again?
Batman versus Superman.
The Dawn of Justice.
Now, BVS is basically a movie where when I very first seen it, I actually really loved it. I was one of the people, I feel like
Did you even like the theatrical version?
I liked the theatrical version, but I seen the problems. Like, I seen the problems, like, alright, I see why people have problems with it, I can see why there's problems, but at the same time, I really liked it. It really did it for me. I think it was mostly because of Ben Affleck's Batman. I think in a theatrical cut, that's what sold it for me. Ben's Batman.
And that's another reason why we started doing this. This is the first time David and I actually had like a major disagreement on a film. It really stemmed from the fact that to me the theatrical version was shit. To me it was. Just watching it for the first time. And again, I'm not a big comic book fan like this guy here, but from the stuff that I do know about Superman and Batman, it made no sense. I felt like there was a lot of things that were left out.
There was.
And there were just... To me, it was just so many potholes in this film. Like, why is Batman like this? Why is Superman like this?
Why are they fighting in the first place?
Why are they fighting in the first place?
Yeah, there was really no reason for to fight.
And, again... stem from the fact I also did have my preconceived notions. I wasn't a big Ben Affleck fan when this movie came out. Not like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor when I first saw it. To me, he made no sense as a character. Pretty much just stemmed from that. I know after talking with him and finding out that there is so much that I missed. Thank you, Ultimate Edition.
Mostly what this review is coming from is the Ultimate. That's basically what we're reviewing here is the Ultimate Edition, not the theatrical. It's the Ultimate Edition, keep in mind here. I showed Alec it because, I kept telling him, like, we got to watch the Ultimate Edition because he never watched it.
And I was hesitant. I'm like, man, this movie is shit.
He's like, I don't know if I want to. Yeah, you're like, I don't want to waste
crap.
my time. And I'm like, you finally came over one day, and I was like, we're going to watch BVS. I told you that's the price. Like, we're watching. You're like, all right, screw it. I'm
reluctantly,
here.
I agree.
But he didn't really know, like, what happened, like, in the beginning of it, because there was a lot of, there's a theatrical edition and the Ultimate Edition. Zack Snyder basically did not get to make the movie he wanted.
There is a major history of studio influence on movies that could have been a lot better if there wasn't a lot of studio influence. Interference is the word I'm looking for. And when I saw the Ultimate Edition and I saw all of these things that were taken out because, come to find out, Warner Brothers wanted to remove things for the sole purpose of shortening the time. David and I are ones to believe that we don't care how long a movie is. If you want everything in it to get your point across, your movie could be 5 hours. It could be 10 hours long. I don't care.
Make it a mini-series. Yeah,
exactly. Make it a mini-series.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. That's why I say certain characters, certain properties work better for TV shows. That's why I think Star Wars is working so much better in television right now because you're able to expand the stories out with The Mandalorian. Like, that would never work in a movie.
Nope.
But this Batman versus Superman, and you're putting in the Dawn of Justice, which is you're basically setting up the Justice League movie to come, which... we're finally getting the Snyder Cut, and that's what kind of has happened with his Snyder Cut now. It's, from what I originally heard, it was going to be a miniseries. It was going to be a full, but now they shut it down to 4 hour, which is still long, 4 hour cut. They're letting him put out his vision. That's the kind of filmmaker Zack Snyder is. He is the kind of filmmaker that goes really deep into the lore, into the characters and stuff like that. And that's the stuff where I think the theatrical cut out. They cut out literally all of the character arcs, all of the story. It's like giving you a hamburger and just having the bun.
Yep.
And like, here's your hamburger. What about everything that goes in? What about my actual patty? What about my onion, lettuce, tomato, whatever?
Yeah.
And that's basically what they gave it.
Just did the math too. All of the things that were cut out were a sixth of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And in fraction terms, a sixth is a pretty decent sized
more
chunk.
than half. What was the theatrical? It was like 2 hours
And just within
long.
that sixth of the things that were cut out, basically took 50% of the movie's plot away.
Yeah, it did. It took basically all of Superman's story arc. It took away Lex's, everything we talk about Lex, and we're going to talk about all this stuff in here. It took about all of this stuff. And Zack Snyder had such a big, idea. He had such a big vision, I think, planned for this. And I think his plans were to go to, BVS, to Justice League. I don't think he had much to do with Suicide Squad. He did have a little bit, but not much. It was more David Ayers. He didn't have much to do
I don't want to even put that movie in the same breath as this one.
Yeah. Now, basically into another thing, too, what I really want to get into, what I think was one of the big scenes that they cut out, because like we were saying, they cut out a lot of the story, a lot of the plot, too much. Right in the beginning, when we have that opening scene in Africa, when they're in Africa.
I'm telling you, this guy persuaded me to watch the Ultimate Edition, and within the first 30 minutes, I had completely changed my opinion.
Yeah,
because that is exactly what the theatrical version fucked up.
Yeah.
Was the beginning.
Yeah, it was the beginning.
They took
said nothing
so much out. Specifically in regards to the scenes where, they gather up all the bodies and they start, what's the name of that organization?
No, it's not. It's LexCorp. But basically,
so it's the agents of LexCorp.
Well, yeah.
And they gather up all the bodies and incinerate them. Up all the bodies, and they incinerate it to make it seem like Superman had done this. For whatever reason, Warner Brothers wanted to take that out because either it might have been too graphic. At that time, it was 2016. People were watching sex and all forms of screen. Like, come on. Yeah. At this point, there's no such thing as holding back on what's too graphic. We live in a world where horror films have gone from watching people getting their throats slit to, and again, this is not a horror film, but again, the studio wanted to take it out. Oh, it's supposed to be a family-oriented film. No, not really. There's a history of both Batman and Superman being kid-friendly material, going 40s,
Justice Friends,
Superman, the
World's
original,
Finest, the World's Finest in the 90s.
Batman couldn't be more childish in regards to Adam West's, portrayal.
Yeah, exactly.
What they were trying to do with this movie, it makes no sense cutting out all of the most intensive graphic scenes, such as, the body incinerations at the beginning.
The other thing they cut out, too, from the African scene was that lady. It was that lady who was doing the interview, and she was talking to the interviewers, and then she was in front of Congress and basically told Congress, Superman killed my family, he killed all this and everything like that. That was Lex. And you find out in the theatrical cut, you don't know. You don't know any of this. They cut all this out. This movie, you figure out that's part of Lex's plan to set up Superman. And that's another thing you find in here, too, is Lex's plan. He actually has a motivation and a plan for this.
The simple reason... I feel like the things that were taken out from the Ultimate Edition, in regards to the theatrical cut, Lex's plan makes 10 times more sense. Yeah. And I feel like that was the downfall of the theatrical version, is you find out in the end in the theatrical version that Lex really did this to kind of set up the fight. But with all the things that were taken out, it's like,
why?
So you just are really, to me,
you just want to see
a
fight.
Yeah, you just want to see two superheroes fight it out just for entertainment purposes. Yeah. The Ultimate Edition goes into Lex's emotions, like how much he really hates Superman and how much he despises Batman. And he thinks, what makes you two so powerful? What makes you two different from me or the people that work for me? And he's got that mindset. hence, that's another thing in the comics, is that he's all about, like, what makes you better than me.
Yep.
And
he is and that's
hence why I appreciate Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor more, because, again, the Ultimate Edition completely redeemed everything about this movie to me.
A lot of people do talk crap about Jesse Eisenberg's Lex, and, like, again, I feel like I was one of the only people that got, like, I seen the problems with the theatrical cut, but I think I understood, because as, like, a big comic book fan I am, how much I understand these characters. I think I seen through the bad stuff, and I understood what Zack was trying to show, and what the studio took out of it. And I see it in his Lex. He's a younger Lex that later becomes a Lex Luthor that
we have seen in all portrayals.
Exactly
what my issue was at first was I was so used to seeing Lex as the super serious business guy, portrayed as the
bald head,
bald head, hot Joe. But this one, it's a kid. He's basically a kid that
take over his dad's company.
Took over his dad's company, and he feels that he's on top of the world. And that's a great example of putting somebody into a position of power when it's all going to go to their head.
Like you said, we see more of just his character and his viewpoint on stuff, and we see how he's talking to that senator lady, and how he says, if God is all powerful, because he looks at Superman as God, he compares him to God, and he talks about God. How is God all good? He never saved me from Daddy's fists of abominations when I was a kid, which he meant basically saying my dad abused me as a kid. God never came and saved me from that. How is he all good? I hear he's all good. How is Superman all good? There's this person that just died. Look at all those people that died in Man of Steel in the buildings. Superman didn't save them from that. No. Superman just let them die. He's not all great. If God is all powerful, then he can't be all good. And if he's all good, then he can't be all powerful. And that's why Lex believes he's all good, because he's not all powerful. He doesn't have power. He's just a human who has brains. And that's where Lex believes I should be the leader. I should be the one in charge, because I don't have all this power, but I know how to use it. I know how to control it. And that's what Lex wants. He wants to control. That one scene when Superman is basically kneeling, when he shows the pictures of Martha, and he's throwing the pictures down, and you see Superman kneel, and he's like kind of and Lex kind of like Lex kind of like grabs his face like that, and he's like, now God bows to my will, because that's what Lex wanted from the comics. That's why he made his weapons. That's why he had his whole business, was because he wanted humans to control. He was a humanist. He is a, we were talking about before.
What's that? A humanitarian.
He's a humanitarian. And he believes in humanity, but he's also a very disturbed man that believes he should be the one that's in charge.
Another thing I appreciate about this film, going back to that concept we've talked about before in our previous defensive films, please watch them.
Yeah, I'll watch them.
The two sides of the same coin conflict. And Batman, Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne in this movie does a great job of portraying that, because you and I threw that idea at you, is that really in this film Lex and Batman are two sides of the same coin. You got Lex here, who's, again, he's a genius without a doubt. Lex Luthor is a genius.
Yeah, he's a genius.
And he has the money, and he has the ability to create. He has the motivation. Yeah, and he has the motivation to create his own weaponry and create all of the things that he uses. And again, it was that quest for power. However, with Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, same thing. Bruce Wayne is a very smart guy, greatest detective in the
world. That's going to go back.
And he's got the money, and he has the willpower to create all of the things that he uses. But in this one, he's not looking for power. He is so hurt why Batman started becoming this thing.
Angry and vengeful towards Batman and rage, and that's what I love. That's again why I love Ben. I mean, everyone who's on my channel knows Ben Affleck's my favorite Batman ever, and
this movie is the reason he is now a close second in my mind. I did not like it at first, but I
got him there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. And with Batman, what they do in here, they give him motivation, and the same thing with, we see why he's this angry and vengeful, and it goes back to Lex, and it all goes back to Lex's big master plan of manipulating them. He's sending Bruce those letters in the mail that says, you let your family die, you killed your employees, you did this to your employee stuff, and that's Lex, but Lex is making it seem like it's his employee, the guy that got his legs blown off. I love that thing too that Zach put in there, that guy, because that shows right there kind of the human side, the grounded human side of like a regular day person who, and the guy said, I lost my, and there's something else they cut out of Lex in his house with the wheelchair.
Yeah, he's
Lex
about to give him the,
he's like, hey, nice I'm here for you. He's like, I'm here for you. I will take care of you. Here, go tell him the Superman's this bad guy. And it goes back to that, and Bruce is seeing that. And Bruce is also seeing on the news of what Lex set up in Africa. He is seeing all this, and Bruce is been in retirement. He's been in retirement for, I think, like they said, 15, 20 years. And we have that line of when Alfred, this is why I love Alfred and Bruce's
I love Jeremy Irons.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons is amazing. I love him
not even just as Alfred.
Just as an actor in general.
To me, I'm sorry, Michael Caine is still my favorite Alfred.
Jeremy Irons is mine.
But he's just overall, he's a well-rounded and just respectable actor. I've never seen him in a bad role. So yeah, no, I do really like him as Alfred in this.
Yeah, I love the scenes of how he's with that scene when Bruce is explaining to him, when Bruce finally got the kryptonite, he's explaining like, this is how we're going to take out Superman, and Alfred looks at him, he's like, he is not our enemy, like, open your eyes, Bruce. But Bruce is so beat with like vengeance and anger, and Ben Affleck, my man Affleck, nails this performance. And you just see in that scene when he's staring at his bat suit, and he's just staring at it. You see Batman. I'm like, that is Batman. He's not even saying a word. I'm like, that is fucking Batman. That's why I love Ben's Batman. How he sits there and tells Alfred, if we believe that there's even a 1% chance that he's our enemy, we need to take that absolute. Because look at what happened these 20 years with Robin dying, and how many good guys is staying good. Probably
call back line. Going back to that line. 20 years in Gotham. How many good guys are... he's like, how many good guys... Or what? Yeah.
How many good guys are good? He's like, look how many good guys are good. Count the dead. Thousands. If we believe there's even a 1% chance that he's our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty. But Alfred Summer's like, but he is not our enemy, though, Bruce. Like, open your eyes. You're being manipulated like everybody else is. Like, open your eyes. He's not our enemy.
What? Just Alfred Alfred is probably the greatest character.
I love Alfred. I love Alfred.
No matter what, you cannot not like Alfred.
No, you can't. Alfred's amazing. Alfred's absolutely amazing. Then when it goes back, and then what I love is at the end of the Martha. Now I know this is something everyone hates, and I have to talk about it. The Martha scene.
Again, I have no idea why people don't like that.
Me too. When I first watched the movie, I understood right there. Yeah, I get it. What the Martha scene is Batman becoming the world's greatest detective again, because he's about to kill this man. He's holding him, and he says something, how, like, I love his lines that he says, like, you're not a god, you're not even a man. Yeah. Like, he's just like, Bruce is pissed. He's like, look, you're nothing. I beat you. I'm a man, and I beat you. About to kill him, and what's Superman's words were right when he's about to be murdered. He's not. Yeah. Save me or whatever. He says, save Martha.
Save Martha.
Save his mom. No, I know people go, oh, their names are the same. So now, no. But pay attention to what's been going on. That proves right there that you have not been paying attention to what's been going on through this whole movie. Right there is when Batman realizes, Martha. Martha, my mom.
Yeah.
This is why I'm saving people. This is why I save people.
I love that scene. Even in the theatrical version. That was the only thing I really did appreciate about the theatrical version. He has that sudden realization, like, oh, wait. I've been doing everything all wrong. This is not what I vowed when I first became Batman.
Goes back to him killing in the movie. It goes back to seeing him kill these people in the movie. He starts to realize, like, wait. Like you just said, like, whoa, this is not what I'm doing.
I became Batman for Martha, for my mom, for my dad. Mm-hmm. I promised I would not kill people because I believed in justice. Mm-hmm. And just in that little, like...
moment, he realizes, he's like, wait, what am I doing? And he goes, why'd you say that name? And then Lois Lane comes over, it's his mother's name. And he goes, mother, he has a mom. He's trying to save his mom. He's just like me. He's just like me, and that's when he goes and looks at her, and he looks at Kal-El, like right before he goes, I promise you this, Martha will not die tonight. He's like, this time, Martha will not die this time.
Wow.
Man, the greatest Batman scene ever when he goes and fights all the kids in a warehouse. And
my
everything.
favorite scene
That's the greatest Batman scene ever.
The pro wrestling fan, the fact that he fucking
He
chokeslammed. He basically chokeslammed the shit out of that guy. Gives that stiff right hand to the guy so hard that his face just... That's the first thing that hits the floor. Just boom.
It's terrifying in a costume. Like, you'd be terrified. You see Ben in that costume, like, I would be like, well...
Actually, because of this movie, I started looking into... I actually started paying attention more to, like, Ben Affleck and, like... I'm not a stalker or anything, I promise, but, like, heard some things, and obviously David here has been kind enough to share.
I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of him.
Out of like his struggles in life,
and especially during this movie, while this movie was going on,
and it really adds into that that emotional grip that you have, like that you can understand where Bruce Wayne in this movie is like he's in pain. Obviously, you can tell it's coming from the actor too.
Yeah, he's the best Batman in my opinion, and now I finally got him to like his Batman, which I'm happy about. And now, since we just talked about Batman's struggles, Batman vs Superman, we got to talk about Superman's struggle. And this Ultimate Edition, what I really love it does, because one of my biggest complaints about the theatrical cut, even though I do like it, Superman. It's supposed to be the Man of Steel sequel, technically.
His character arc in the theatrical version compared to the Ultimate Edition is so fucked.
Like 15 minutes in his own sequel than the first one? He has hardly any lines.
That's why a theatrical version took so much out, again, with the, going back to Lex Luthor's issues. The theatrical version, to me, did more emphasis on Batman's issues.
It did. Yeah, it did. And focused more on Batman. It was a more Batman story.
And with Superman, to me, in the theatrical version, it came off as though he's honestly... came off to me as an asshole.
He did.
He came off to me as he came off to me as somebody who wasn't really going through a struggle. He just was all I don't know how to really describe it. Like how he came off.
Down. He was down and depressed for no reason. And you're like, come on, what's going on? In the Ultimate Edition, we actually see what's really going on with Superman. He is struggling. You have to remember, this is him just after Man of Steel. Maybe like a year. It said 18 months. So 2 years. So 2 years after Man of Steel. The scene here that I love in the Ultimate Edition, it wasn't a theatrical cut, but is in the Ultimate Edition, is where he calls his mom. And he's talking with his mom, and his mom kind of tells him, and she explains to him, it's like, because he's struggling, because he's like, I do all these things for them, I save them, I try every day to prove that I am a hero, that I am this good hero, and they hate me, they still hate me, they are still calling me an alien, they're still telling me to leave this planet, they're still hating on me, and it's another thing kind of leads into racism in real life. Just
in regards to racism, it comes down to that the underlying concept of people fear what they don't understand.
Exactly.
When they fear something and they don't take the time to understand it, it eventually leads to a disdain. It eventually leads to feelings of hatred and dislike, and that's that struggle now. And then again, thanks to the Ultimate Edition, that struggle is really capitalized on. It's emphasized more. Now you really understand why he's feeling this hurt, because he really is being set up.
He's being set up by Lex this whole time, and that's the problem. And I love that scene of him, and this is something the Ultimate Edition added in when they were in the Senate building when it exploded. The theatrical edition, for some reason, cut out the scene of Superman helping people and helping take them out, and that was the stupidest thing.
I swear,
that was so stupid that they cut that out.
We talked about that as soon as it happened. That's exactly why I thought he was an asshole, because he didn't help anybody at the Senate building. People are still being like, "Hey,
like
fuck
you did this,
you,
you did this." Like you'd be like, "Yeah," and he has his head down. He's like, and that's when he tells his mom. He saw his mom. He's like, "Should I just give up? Like, should I just not even try anymore?" And his mom basically was like, no, because that's not who you are. And that moment now, like, we get why Superman, like you said, is kind of down and depressed and all moping around the entire time and stuff. And you get that now. Like, we get that because he's being set up, like you say. He's on a phone call with his mom, and he's talking with his mom, who's
wonderfully portrayed by Diane Lane.
Yeah, I love her as Martha.
I do have a little crush on her.
Yeah. Then another thing too, what I want to add on, that they bring in for the character of Superman is that they actually give him a reason to dislike Batman. The first one, like I said, it gives him more of a reason now, because now Batman has a reason in the Ultimate Edition to actually go after Superman instead of, oh, he's just an alien. Now Batman does have a reason because he sees all this stuff and he's being set up. Now Superman has a reason because Superman also is being set up by Lex on Batman's side, because Lex is doing, and we see in the Ultimate Edition, Lex is the one that's branding. Well, Batman's really branding people, but he doesn't. That's not his intention. Is for them to get killed. His intention is just to show, like,
this is what happens when you fuck with me. You know.
But Lex takes that and frames Batman for making people get killed in jail. And Superman sees it. They cut out all the scenes of Superman going to Gotham and investigating Gotham and interviewing all those people from Gotham. You see that old man says, oh, there's a new kind of mean in him. He's hungry and he's angry. And Superman's seen this and he's like, what about this Bat Vigilante going on in Gotham? Like, what is this? Like, people are saying I'm bad? What about this guy who's actually killing people? You know?
That idea that, again, Batman hasn't directly killed these people.
Yeah.
He didn't, he still followed his own code, didn't kill these people. But that branding was essentially the catalyst for people to be like, well,
he's killing people.
No, well, not killing people in the sense that he makes them the targets so that other people will kill and be like, well, Batman wanted this to happen.
Exactly.
He's not the one that... He didn't use his own hand to kill these people. But by that idea of, oh, well, this was his way of saying, get rid of them. And that is, again, not with Batman's code. He doesn't want them to die even behind bars. He wants them to just face the justice system.
Yeah.
So, essentially, now Batman is having his own code turned against him to make him look like he's not regarding the law at all.
It's all done by Lex.
And then here's Superman thinking, well, I actually am trying to help people. So why is this guy getting away with basically just saying, all right, do the dirty work for me?
That's something I love that this Ultimate Edition does. It finally shows us, okay, this is why they're fighting. They finally do fight. Superman's kind of like, because Lex with Martha. Lex shows Martha's like, I set you all up. That's when Lex explains, like, I set this all up. This was all me. Because I want you guys to fight. And then Superman's like, that's when Superman realized, like, oh shit, Batman's not a bad guy. And he's like, what's stopping me from taking you out right now then? And he goes, I got your mom. And then Lex knows that's his weakness, is his mom. Next to Kryptonite, his mom and Lois, the two women in his life, is his weakness. And that's when he goes out. I love that scene, like when they're about to fight, and Bruce is all ready to fight him and everything. And he's like, Bruce, stop! You have to listen to me. Like, you have to listen to me. Lex is he's trying to explain to him, and Batman's not listening. And he's like, okay, fuck it, I'm just gonna. Gonna beat him.
That was what my issue with the theatrical version. If I could really put it in a nutshell, they took too much emphasis out of Superman's arc. Put a little too much focus into Batman, but took out too much of the vital stuff. So we had too much focus on Batman, but it was too confusing.
Yeah.
Lex just came off as just a power hungry asshole that just wanted to do this for kicks. Because of the Ultimate Edition, my whole mindset was completely warped, and I don't even think that.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention.
Everything to now has some kind of emotionally driven narrative to every person's actions. Everything is intertwined very nicely, and everything's tightly knit because of the Ultimate Edition.
Yep. And the Ultimate Edition is not a perfect movie. It's not perfect. There are still some mistakes in that movie. There, like the flashing, the whole them finding out about the Justice League and all that. Wonder Woman, I feel like she was cool I feel like Wonder Woman would have worked better if they just saved her for the ending. Like, have that one scene of her when they're at the party, tease her a little bit, and then have her just pop out of nowhere at the ending. It's like, oh,
my recommendation. So I know you and I discussed how you're not really a big fan of the scenes where Bruce emails Diana all of the information about not just her, but Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman. To me, that kind of setup for, obviously the Justice League that was supposed to happen right after, I feel like that's vital. Something like that to me is vital. I do geek out a lot. I do like post-credit scenes like that. It gives reason for people to stay in the theaters
It's
or to
looking
keep
forward
discussing.
to next week. Oh, what's
and
going to happen
then
next?
what happens next? Yeah. Feel the scenes where Bruce reveals the Justice League to Diana, and also the scene where the Flash reaches Bruce in a nightmare. I feel like that scene should have taken place after the events of everything. So after Superman dies, dies.
Yeah.
After the funeral is done, after everybody goes back to normal, that should be what happens. The scene where Flash is coming out like, Lois is the answer. To me, those two scenes would have made the Ultimate Edition a little bit better if they were in the post-credit scenes.
I would have liked that. I would have like, oh, they're doing the Justice League next. But instead, you put it in the middle of the movie, and you're like, what does this have to do with the plot? With the whole movie that's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically you could have just taken out. They put in 2 post-credit scenes and have the other one of this happening.
They've done that before.
Yeah,
a lot of movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have done it where they'll have it in the middle of the post-credits, and then they'll let the rest of the credits run through, and then they have one last final scene.
Yeah, because they're good scenes. They're good scenes. They just don't fit the narrative of the story they're trying to tell. Save that for the post-credit scenes, and then we're like, oh my god, that nightmare scene. What is going on? What?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, the Justice League's coming though? Like, what? You put it in the middle of the movie, and then you're into the movie, and you're watching this, and now you look at it like, this has nothing to do with the movie. Why is this here? You know what I mean? It's useless. It's a useless thing that they put in the middle of the movie, and that's why it bothers me so much. I'm like, you could have put more of this time towards building a character with Superman more or with Batman more. You know, instead of wasting the time on that. I agree with you completely. You should have just put it in a post-credit scene and got people hyped up for the Justice League movie.
Exactly.
So there it is, guys. Thank you for watching. That was our defense of...
We're out of time already?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know. If you want to go longer, we can talk about, like, all...
Oh, yeah.
And, guys, make sure you guys do tune in to our next In Defense video that's going to be coming up. We actually have this one planned out already. We already know what we're going to be doing, and...
We actually decided to be smart this time.
Decided to be smart and prepare this time. And it's going to be another Batman one, because we're on a pretty much Batman craze right now, especially with the Batman trailer and stuff. I love that trailer. I talked to Alec, and I figured, because we both agree on this, and this is something where a lot of Batman fans differ on.
And a lot of mainstream audiences differ on,
Yes, a lot of mainstream audience differ on, too, and that is why we believe Batman Begins is the better Batman movie than The Dark Knight. Come, but hey, bring it on. We're gonna give you guys our ammunition. Come on, give us your ammunition. What do you got? Thank you guys again for watching, and make sure you guys do stay tuned for that video coming up soon.
See you later.
And thank you guys again for watching, and thank you, Alec, again for coming here. Hey, yeah,
I love being here.
No, I love you coming here and talking about this with you, dude. I like this becoming a more thing.
No,
I like the series that we're doing. I like this. It's
really
good.
Do.
It's really cool. I think it's a good thing we got going.
Like
on,
I said, brother from another mother.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate it. It helps us out. Yeah, helps me out. Helps him out.
I don't give a shit about me. Help him out.
But it helps us out. Yeah, help me out.
I'm just the lovable, goofy sidekick.
You're my Robin. You're my Robin and my Batman. Except you're taller than me.
And bigger.
Yeah, and probably can fight better. But thank you guys again for watching again. And until next time, guys, on our next In Defense of...
See you soon.
See you soon.